Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, June 7th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple quick clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol GME. And I should also note, if you would like for me to do another ticker symbol in a future video, comment down below, put in your request, and I'll do my best to get to it. But for now, let's talk about some GME and another monster move on this one. And really the best way to see this is how it came up here and just blasted up through this former area of resistance from several days ago, back here at $40.50. And now that is going to be our ideal level of support, and that's just based on a foundational rule, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closes above, you want to see them act as support. And I say ideal support because if you were to say, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute healthiest moving forward? And that would be if the price can stay above that area. With that being said, if the price falls below it, does not mean the entire chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that. Because from the big picture point of view, just keep it on that purple line there, 50 period, a simple moving average. Keyword definitely be moving. I get it. This line's way down here. The price is way up there. But as time goes by, that line will move itself higher and higher and get more and more relevant. So from an overarching standpoint, as long as the price is above that purple line, bulls 100% own the chart. In terms of next potential battlegrounds, nothing fancy here or complicated logic-wise other than just asking yourself, what did the party finally stop today for the bulls? And that was up there at 47.50. So like I said, no fancy logic there. That's literally just where the party finally stopped. So keep an eye on 47.50 for the main battleground headed into Friday. Next one, ticker symbol FRGT, and this thing was an absolute train wreck today. Very ugly looking chart, but as many of you longer time viewers know what I'm going to say next. There can be opportunity in the ugly, but just as a quick little recap, nice gap up. First part of the day, absolutely fantastic. True story, some poor souls were buying up there. Hopefully they were using a stop loss because after that, things got nasty all the way down here. But the key thing here is where did the price finally start to go sideways? So very clearly we have some sideways action. And where is that location? Well, when you look closely enough, you can see it's right atop that pink line there, which on my chart denotes very well known, the very famous 200 period moving average. Now let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because there was this big pullback and just because the price has finally started to go sideways at this key moving average does not mean for sure guaranteed the pullback's over and for sure guaranteed this thing's about to come back upwards. My point here is it becomes a lot more plausible at this point in time. So again, no guarantees, but if you're able to manage risk and you're going to be disciplined, then you could be looking at a very nice risk versus reward scenario, because if it doesn't go your way, oh well, manage your risk. If you do even get a little bit of a bounce, then relatively to what was being risked, you could be looking at some good upside reward. So if you like these kind of opportunity in the ugly penny stock situations, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, AMC, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched the past videos, but if you have, hopefully remember me talking about this sideways channel here that's been pretty annoying and stubborn, with the top of the channel being right there at 515. But you can see midday today, price got the breakthrough there and then has made a very, very impressive move up through that area. So I'm going to go ahead and just do some house cleaning, get rid of those levels, and we'll start anew here, because really moving forward, we have a nice little technical pattern. So in terms of the top part of the pattern, we have that area of resistance right there. And then bottom part of the pattern, we have that area of support right there. Let me change that to green for support. And then in terms of making it just easier to see, let's keep the pattern one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the nice upwards move there. If you golfers try to make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here. So we have a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because it's a bullish pattern doesn't mean guaranteed it's going to go upwards, but if the price can continue to consolidate and get the break up to that level, it does become valid. And even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it becomes valid and plausible to think that a break of that level could generate additional buying pressure in and of itself. So if you like this price range, you like bull pennant patterns, definitely keep an eye on AMC. Next one, FFIE. Going to go through this one very quickly because there's really not a whole lot for me to update previous to the other charts I've done, but it is still remains a very popular stock. So I know a lot of people are watching it, but I've talked about this sideways channel, top of the channel resistance being up there at 60 cents, bottom of the channel support down there at 50 cents. And you can see that after today, price just continues to chop around. Now, one note is we had, once again, bottom of the channel right there, beautiful bounce right off that level. So good to see that bottom of the support continues to hold strong. And then just from a trading standpoint, a nice little opportunity there. So if you did watch the previous video, you picked one up and got some on that little bounce. Nice little trade right there. But other than that, everything still remains fully intact. Sideways channel pattern, 30-minute time frame. And yes, you have the 60-cent mark, but really even before that, notice how this purple line here is now starting to become very annoying. Resistance, 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 resistance once again. Now, even if the price does break above the purple line, yes, you still got to worry about that 60-cent mark. But in the very near term, that key level of resistance clearly has become that 50-period moving average. Next one, VRAX, and strong start, and now we have a bit of a pullback here. Both in the context of things, and this is where context matters because, yes, there's no doubt about it. Price gapped up and then basically formed a downwards channel all day long. And that's totally fair, and I understand that if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 10 minutes, the chart looks really bad for you. But there is another group of people that care about the bigger picture. So, yes, the people that care about the bigger picture, of course, are going to acknowledge, yeah, I mean, fair enough. The price did pull back today. But what was happening before the gap down? Part of the big picture. Well, part of that was this huge gap up right here, which has now allowed me to draw a bull flag pattern. Now, like I said, if you bought up at the blue circle there, you don't care about this bull flag pattern. You had a much different angle, a much different strategy going in. But if you do care about the bigger picture point of view, or maybe just like bull flag patterns, here you go. So VRAX, if you like bull flags, you like stocks down below $5, that certainly meets the criteria. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for my free live online webinar that I'm offering. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the webpage you can use to get signed up. Now, one special note, it is a genuine live event, so maybe you already have something on your schedule this evening, or maybe you're watching this Friday morning and you totally missed it. That's okay. Go ahead, send me an email to clay@claytrader.com, and I can send you a link to the replay. But if you can make it live, then definitely show it up and bring your questions because there will be a Q&A too, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you bring. Next one, ticker symbol NIO, and rough day today with a gap down. Now, the encouraging part was that it's not like it, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have traded, but I'm sure those of you that have, you've seen stocks gap down, and then after they gap down, they just do something like this, and they bleed and bleed and bleed the rest of the day. That didn't happen here. Yes, it got down there, but after that, slow and steady move in the upwards direction. Now, that does not mean that the bottom is in and that this thing is going to fully turn around. I'm just saying that it's at least a little bit more plausible to say, okay, maybe just maybe this downwards pressure is done and this thing's getting ready to turn back around. So on that note, definitely a very important level of support in my mind. Going to be right there at $4.83. The reason for that is if the price were to come down here and then break down through it, at that point in time, all you have now is the price having gone right back to where it was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that go back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power or strength. So you want to see the price at least make progress. And in this situation, quote unquote, progress being defined as staying above that level right there. In terms of areas of resistance, main battleground to watch in my mind, I'm going to get a trend line in play because I think I can see this definitely coming into play here. But going to be that overall resistance level right there. So if this thing does continue to try to bounce upwards, keep an eye on that resistance area right there. But top priority for, at least in my opinion right now, is certainly staying above that green line and showing quote-unquote signs of progress. Next one, WISA, and pretty brutal pullback right now. And as it's pulling back, you can see that it's now approaching some moving averages. And as I speak, and that's why I like to do these when the market's open, check it out. The price is literally right at that pink line, the 200 period moving average. Market's still open for another 8 minutes, so there's a very realistic chance that the price may ultimately push down through there. If it does push down through there, then the next area of support you'd want to immediately turn your attention to is that purple line there, 50 period moving average right now valued at $2.30. So preferably speaking, what's going to make this pullback look the best? Definitely if the price can stay above that pink line. But if it does not hold above it, you certainly want to see the price stay above the purple line. Because if the price comes down here, that purple line, and then breaks down through there, we once again have that same problem that I just talked about. You would literally have the price having made a huge move up and then going right back to where it was. And as we've just discussed, not exactly a sign of genuine strength. In fact, in kind of trading lingo and slang, we'd call that a pump and dump. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to occur, but that's why, and as I speak, look at this. So pink line here, continue to get pushed further and further down. In terms of areas of resistance, main level to watch, you can see right there, very, very steep trend line can now be put into play, which really just shows the severity of this pullback. But if this thing can snap itself back around, you could get a nice breakout back to the upside. Next one, WULF. Did this one a few days ago, and that's where these red line, green line are coming from. But you can see right here, Price broke above that resistance level a couple days ago, and it's just been in beast mode since then. So we'll go ahead and clear out those levels as they serve their purpose. And pretty much just right back to starting over, because as you can see here, this is the highest this thing has been in a very, let me change it to the 4-hour time frame, a very, very long time. 4 hour just means each one of these represents 4 hours. But we'll go back to the 30-minute and then zoom in here and look at some of the nearer levels. So in terms of areas of support, key level to watch, ideal level, again, ideal meaning that level that if, say what would make the chart the healthiest and strongest, certainly if the price can stay above 297. Now, if the price does fall below it, then as I've talked about, just keep an eye on that overarching area of support, which is that 50-period moving average. So as that line moves itself higher and higher, and if you want to envision that as a trend line that's going to draw itself for you, that works too. So as long as the price stays above the quote-unquote trend line, then the overall strength fully in the bull's favor. In terms of areas of resistance, we have this little miniature level right there. In fact, so keep an eye on that, and I'll just do this real quick. But within the bigger context of things, we have a nice little miniature bull pennant pattern. Same with right here. Here is another bull pennant pattern that's already been broken. So this thing has had, and here's another. So you get the idea. This thing has had a lot of bull pennants. In fact, we've had 2 bull pennants today in and of itself. We've had this one from this morning, and now we have this one this afternoon that has formed. So will history repeat itself and get it break to the upside? Let's see what Friday has to offer. Next one, TSLA, Tesla, and another good, I would say, argument to use charts or to at least learn about charts. And this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watch past videos. But if you have, you know that I've talked about 172.75 over and over and over again. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. If you don't believe me, I'm not offended at all. Just go back in the video archive, and you'll see that I've been talking about 172.75. And I say all that, again, not to brag about myself, but to brag about charts. Look where the thing bounced off of this morning. Right there. So for any of you that watched those videos and took advantage of, picked up whether that's calls or some shares, wow, did you get a great bounce? Hopefully you are still holding, because beautiful bounce off that level. And from the big picture standpoint, yes, 172.75 remains the key area of support. In the near term, and what I would call that preferable area, definitely for the price to stay above both these moving averages, the 200-period moving average, 176.90, and then the purple line, 50-period at the 176. So if you just want to call this a support zone, that would be best case scenario. But even if the price falls below it, you do still have the overall bottom of the pattern at 172.75. In terms of levels of resistance, still work that needs to be done. Overarching level up there at 182, but in the near term, the price is going to have any chance of getting up there and doing battle with it. Key stubborn level looks to be right there at about the 180 mark. But all things considered, absolutely beautiful bounce today on Tesla. Next one, TQQQ, and overall, the movement continues higher. Not the most exciting day today. Yesterday was obviously very exciting as it went straight up almost all day long. A lot of consolidation here. I'm going to get rid of that. But within the consolidation, we've now formed something where, maybe you already know where I'm headed with all this, but I'm checking this out, and it's a beautiful pattern. I mean, nice, clean trend line. Check that out. And then we have the bottom part of the pattern right there. Nice, clean trend line. And then we have, just to keep it the same color, resistance, support, nice upward move there. So we have another bull pennant, bull flag, whatever floats your boat. I'm not going to get into a fist fight about whether it's a bull flag or bull pennant, because they're both, telling the same story. That story being big surge up, now some consolidation, and now just a question of who's going to ultimately win out. Can the bulls get the win to the upside and get a breakout to close the week on Friday? We'll see what happens. Now, I will get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders out there, again, if you liked what you saw here, definitely go get signed up for the free training. It'll be Thursday, June 6th, so this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And it just dawned on me, I didn't have my email up there. But if you can't make it live for whatever reason, like I said, send me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay. But if you can't make it live, like I said, it is a genuine live event, so bring your questions, and we can discuss them in person. Now, one quick clarification here. We're no longer looking at the 30-minute time frame. We are looking at the 4-hour time frame, and that is because Bitcoin is open 24/7. And I want this video to remain relevant as long as possible in terms of this analysis. So as I speak right now, past 4 hours, not so good. Pretty big red candle. With that being said, within the bigger picture of things, everything is still perfectly fine. So let's walk through a couple questions. So I'm just going to operate on the assumption you're watching this video 15 hours after I upload it. So 15 hours from now, if you're watching this, question number one you need to ask yourself is, where is the price at relative to 72,000? If you're answering the question that the price is up above there, well, it's telling you quite a few things. First off, it's telling you that this pullback right now has had the brakes slammed onto it. It's turned itself around, gotten up there, and broke through there. So in other words, if you're answering the question in any way that the price is above 72,000, that would be telling you that Bitcoin is doing very, very well. How well? Well, how far above 72,000 is it? The further up above 72,000, that would just represent more and more strength. But like I said, based on what we're looking at now with this downwards movement, the fact that it might even just be above 72,000 is a lot of strength in and of itself. In terms of levels of support, and the next question you'd want to ask yourself is, well, where is the price at relative to that purple line, which is at basically 68,900. As long as you're answering the question that the price is above there, then overall everything is perfectly fine, because that would just imply some sort of consolidation is occurring. So I mean, the price could pull back some more, and all you'd really have is a bull flag pattern. So like I said, as long as the price is above that purple line, then everything is still perfectly fine. Now, if you're answering the question, the price is down below there, then things start to get sketchy. Things get really sketchy if you're able to ask the question, well, where's the price at relative to the pink line at that area right there, and the price is down below there. At that point, that would be telling you that this pullback has completely taken over and the bears have gained a lot of strength. So walk yourself through those questions, and that'll keep this relevant for as long as possible. And as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader. Definitely get signed up for the free training, because what you learn about can and certainly should be used within your crypto and Bitcoin trading. But like I said, if you can't make it live, clay@claytrader.com. But if you can make it live, it'll be this evening, Thursday, June 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Bring your questions. If you enjoyed these top 10 videos, hit that like button, leave a comment below. Like I said earlier, if you would like to request for me to do another stock or even another crypto, let me know down in the comment section, and I'll do my best to get to it. So hit that like button, leave a comment below, request down below, and go get signed up for that free class.